Welcome to Story Quest. Today, I will be reading Little Woman, Chapter 10. As spring came on, a new set of amusements became the fashion, and the lengthening days gave long afternoons for work and play of all sorts. The garden had to be put in order, and each sister had a quarter of the little plot to do what she liked with. Hannah used to say, "I know which each of them gardenings belong to if I see them." And so she might, for the girls' tastes differed as much as their characters. Meg's had roses and other flowers, and a little orange tree in it. Jo's bed was never like 2 seasons, for she always trying experiments. This year, it was to be a plantation of sunflowers, the seeds of which cheerful and inspiring plants were to feed Aunt Cockletop and her family of chicks. Beth had old-fashioned fragrant flowers in her garden, sweet peas, and other flowers such as pansies, with chickweed for the birds and catnip for the cats. Amy had a bower in hers, rather small and earwiggy, but very pretty to look at, with honeysuckle and morning glories hanging their colored horns and bells and graceful wreaths all over it, tall white lilies, delicate ferns, and as many brilliant, picturesque plants as would consent to blossom there. Gardening, walks, roses on the river, and flower hunts employed the fine days, and for rainy ones they had house diversions, some old, some new, all more or less original. One of these was the PC, for as secret societies were the fashion, it was thought proper to have one, and as all of the girls admired Dickens, they called themselves the Pickwick Club. With a few interruptions, they had kept this up for a year, and met every Saturday evening in the big garret, on which occasions the ceremonies were as follows. 3 chairs were arranged in a row before a table, on which a lamp was, also 4 white badges with a big PC in different colors on each, and the weekly newspaper called the Pickwick Portfolio, to which all contributed something, while Jo, who reveled in pens and ink, was the editor. At 7 o'clock, the 4 members ascended to the clubroom, tied their badges around their heads, and took their seats with great solemnity. Meg, as the eldest, was Samuel Pickwick, Jo being of a literary turn, Augustus Snodgrass, Beth, because she was round and rosy, Tracy Tupman, and Amy, who was always trying to do what she couldn't, was Nathaniel Winkle. Pickwick, the president, read the newspaper, which was filled with original tales, poetry, local news, funny advertisements, and hints, in which they were good-naturedly reminded each other of their faults and shortcomings. On one occasion, Mr. Pickwick put on a pair of spectacles without any glass, rapped upon the table, hemmed in, having stared hard at Mr. Snodgrass, who was tilting back in his chair till he arranged himself properly, began to read. As the president finished reading the paper, which I beg leave to assure my readers is a bona fide copy of one written by bona fide girls once upon a time, a round of applause followed, and then Mr. Snodgrass rose to make a proposition. "Mr. President and gentlemen," he began, assuming a parliamentary attitude and tone, I wish to propose the admission of a new member, one who highly deserves the honor, would be deeply grateful for it, and would add immensely to the spirit of the club, the literary value of the paper, and be no end jolly and nice. I propose Mr. Theodore Lawrence as an honorary member of the PC. Come now, do have him. Joe's sudden change of tone made the girls laugh, but all looked rather anxious, and no one said a word as Snodgrass took his seat. We'll put it to a vote, said the president. All in favor of this motion, please do manifest it by saying aye. A loud response from Snodgrass followed, to everybody's surprise, by a timid one from Beth. Contrary-minded say no. Meg and Amy were contrary-minded, and Mr. Winkle rose to say with great elegance, "We don't wish any boys. They only joke and bounce about. This is a ladies' club, and we wish to be private and proper." "I'm afraid he'll laugh at our paper and make fun of us afterward," observed Pickwick, pulling the little curl on her forehead as she always did when doubtful. Up rose Snodgrass, very much in earnest. "Sir, I give you my word as a gentleman, Laurie won't do anything of the sort. He likes to write, and he'll give a tone to our contributions, keep us from being sentimental. Don't you see? We can do so little for him, and he does so much for us. I think we can do it is to offer him a place here and make him welcome if he comes." This artful allusion to benefits conferred brought Tupman to his feet, looking as if he had quite made up his mind. "Yes, we ought to do it, even if we are afraid. I say he may come, and his grandpa too, if he likes." This spirited burst from Beth electrified the club, and Joe left her seat to shake hands approvingly. "Now then, vote again. Everybody remember it's our Laurie, and say aye," cried Snodgrass excitedly. "Aye, aye, aye," replied 3 voices at once. "Good. Bless you. Now, as there's nothing like taking time by the fetlock, as Winkle characteristically observes, follow me to present the new member." And to the dismay of the rest of the club, Joe threw open the door of the closet and displayed Laurie, sitting on a rag bag, flushed and twinkling with suppressed laughter. "You rogue! You traitor! Joe, how could you?" cried the 3 girls as Snodgrass led her friend triumphantly forth, and producing both a chair and a badge, installed him in a jiffy. "The coolness of you 2 rascals is amazing," began Mr. Pickwick, trying to get up an awful frown and only succeeding in producing a smile. But the new member was equal to the occasion, and rising with a grateful salutation to the chair, said in the most engaging manner, "Mr. President and ladies, I beg pardon, gentlemen. Allow me to introduce myself as Sam Weller, the very humble servant of the club." "Good, good," cried Joe, pounding with the handle of the old warming pan on which he leaned. "My faithful friend and noble patron," continued Laurie with a wave of the hand, "who has so flatteringly presented me, is not to be blamed for the base of tonight. I planned it, and she only gave it after lots of teasing. Come now, don't lay it all on yourself. You know, I proposed the cupboard," broke in Snodgrass, who was enjoying the joke amazingly. "Never mind what she said. I'm the wretch that did it, sir," said the new member, with a nod to Mr. Pickwick. "But on my honor, I will never do so again, and henceforth devote myself to the interest of this immortal club." "Hear, hear!" cried Joe, clashing the lid of the warming pan like a cymbal. Go on, added Winkle and Tupman, while the president bowed. I merely wish to say that as a slight token of my gratitude for the honor done me, and as a means of promoting friendly relations between adjoining nations, I have set up a post office in the hedge in the lower corner of the garden, a fine, spacious building with padlocks on the doors and every convenience for the males, also the females, if I may be allowed the expression. It's the old Martin house, but I've stopped up the door and made the roof open, so it will hold all sorts of things and save our valuable time. Letters, manuscripts, books, bundles can be passed in there. And as each nation has a key, it will be uncommonly nice, I fancy. Allow me to present the club key, and with many thanks for your favor, take my seat. Great applause as Mr. Weller deposited a little key on the table and subsided. The warming pan clashed and waved wildly, and it was some time before order could be restored. A long discussion followed, and everyone came out surprising, for everyone did her best. So it was an unusual lively meeting, and did not adjourn till a late hour, when it broke up with 3 shrill cheers for the new member. No one ever regretted the admittance of Sam Weller, for a more devoted, well-behaved, and jovial member no club could have. He certainly did add spirit to the meetings and a tone to the paper. His orations convulsed his hearers, and his contributions were excellent, being patriotic, classical, comical, or dramatic, but never sentimental. Jo regarded them as worthy as Bacon, Milton, or Shakespeare, and remodeled her own works with good effects, she thought. The P.O. was a capital little institution, and flourished wonderfully, for nearly as many weird things passed through it as through it the real post office. Tragedies and cravats, poetry and pickles, garden seeds and long letters, music and gingerbread, fruits, invitations, goldens, and puppies. The old gentleman liked the fun, and amused himself by sending odd bundles, mysterious messages, and funny telegrams. And his gardener, who was smitten with Hannah's charms, actually sent a love letter to Jo's care. How they laughed when the secret came out, never dreaming how many love letters a little post office would hold in the years to come. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, share, and comment down below. If you have not done so already, please subscribe and hit the bell notification for future videos.